Hello, hello, hello. So, how's everybody doing tonight? We good? Are we happy? I'm back. In case you didn't think I was going to be. In case you didn't see the pattern that was developing here. And yeah, I'm going to go and keep plugging away. I've got I got some work I gotta do, man. I gotta finish this bloody project. This is day 42 of working on this thing on a couple hours a day. And I'll be glad to be done with this thing, I think. And yeah, so I've got a couple of things. A couple of things that I want to do. Let's see if I can. There we go. Just get my music to an appropriate level here. Can't hear myself think. So I'm just making a post here to the Discord channel, letting people know that I'm up and running, so that we can get this party started. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, I am plugging away here on another mesh. This is one of the totems that I was most fearful of creating, only because of the amount of stupid, bloody work that's going to go into this thing, and so I was kind of avoiding creating it, and I ended up simplifying it a lot. This is the chainsaw I'm working on here. This was one that, as soon as I was doing totems, as soon as I came to that realization, I knew this was going to be one of the totems, because I always planned on doing a Leatherface as one of the guys, one of the characters that I would be assigning, and so I always kind of knew that he was going to be here. And as a result, I've kind of been dreading working on this thing. And I've put it off and put it off and put it off. And I'm at a point now with only, half a dozen totems left that I gotta do something. And I'm gonna get through this. So that is where I am at the moment. And we're gonna see what I can do to get this done. So I'm working on the chain that is for the chainsaw here at the moment, and I've made motorcycle chains in the past, and I've gone and done similar things, and there's so much detail on these things. It is really hard to model these in such a way that they don't take up a lot of topology. And are, they still kind of have the right look. They're indicative of what they're supposed to be. It's just not an easy thing to do. And so, I want to approach this with a fair amount of caution here, just to make sure that I'm going to get the look that I want with this. I'm not doing a hyper realistic version of this thing, because frankly that is very unrealistic in terms of what I'll be able to get done. And so what I'm going to do instead is to try and just get something that will read correctly without having to really have to worry too much about anything else. And so if I can do that, then I'll be happy with this. These things have a ton of teeth. The teeth have a ton of detail, and that makes them really, really tough to do. And so I'm going to try and get a reasonable facsimile of what this would look like, and hopefully get to a point where I can just say that's good enough. You know, that reads as the thing I wanted to make, and I can try and reduce it topologically as much as I can, in order to try and get that look. And so it's also one of these things too that, like, this is a mesh that I'm meaning to have. Hey, Melissa. This is a mesh that I'm meaning to have people look at up close, right? They're supposed to be inspecting these things. And so to do a half-assed job on one of these things just because I'm tired of the project, or I'm, you know, at the point where I'm just done with working on this and I want to move on to something else, you know, is not going to make this thing look all that good. And so I want to try and give it, I'm going to try and give it some attention. You know, I want to make sure that it looks decent if I can. So I'm just trying to go through here and give it a little bit of detail, and reduce it wherever I can topologically. I know that this is going to be probably the highest poly element of this model, and that's one of the things that I'm a little fearful of. But as long as I can do this... Hey, Rich. How you doing, brother? So what I've done here is I've got 2 sets of teeth. So this is the passive tooth, which there are actually 3 different tribes, 3 different types of teeth. I'm going to do 2, and this is the cutter tooth. There's also drive teeth as well, which actually have the little hook on the bottom, which grab onto the actual blade part of this thing. But I'm not going to bother with those. We'll just run... I mean, they're going to be inside this mesh anyway, so you're not going to see them. So I'm going to go with the assumption here that people kind of just get that that's what this is. So what I need to do is now duplicate this. The good tune just came on. So I got to make a whole bunch of these teeth. And I'm going to try and do this in a logical way. So this guy's in X here, where his pivot point is. I'm going to move that to 0 in X. And actually, yeah, that's fine. And I'll move this one to 0 in X as well. And then we're going to go to our front view and zoom in on them. So they don't actually line up any... Oh, no, they do line up because their pivots are in the same point. So what I need to do is start making clones of these things, and I've got to alter where the pivot point is on this first one to be here. So I'm going to get that position. So this is a little bit of what I was worried about. So I'm at a very bizarre number here. I'm at negative 0.28, and what that means is that every negative 0.28, I'm going to get another tooth. And that's not a really nice number. I should have paid a little bit more attention when I was modeling this thing, but them's the breaks. So this tooth is at 0. This tooth is at negative 0.28. So that negative 0.28 is my value that I need to pay attention to. And I do want to pay attention to it because I need to add far more teeth. What is that, Christian? It looks like Sanskrit. Oh. So to do this, now that I know how long this is, it's a quarter of a centimeter. What I want to do, I'm going to zoom out here and go back onto not my blade, but the spline. And I'm going to measure the spline. And that's because I want to get as close to the right number here as I can. So this object in length is 176. It would be nice if I could copy that number, but I can't. I'm going to open a new tab on Chrome and type this in just so I have it here. 176.684. And I'm going to divide that number by 0.28. So I need 631 duplicates of my mesh. So I'm going to go back to these guys here and isolate. 600. That's, you know what? That's not as bad as I was hoping, or as I was expecting. So 631. 631. That's a lot, man. So I will be doing the stream slightly different this evening than you might be used to. Tonight is my father-in-law's birthday, and since we can't be together and celebrate him in the way that he deserves, I made an Instagram post in his honor, and I'm having a drink in his honor, and so I've got me a single malt that I'll be sipping on throughout the evening. So this stream might go downhill really fucking fast. We'll see. So I'm going to go to tools here and my array mesh. This is the easiest way to make duplicates of this thing. So I want to move these in X, and I want to move them at 0.28, which is my increment. I'm going to go to the count, and I need the count to be 630 because I already have one instance of it there. I'm going to hit preview, and I'll let Max have a heart attack. And there's my chain. Remember this, you danger, stranger things have happened, I know. Oh. The number is not correct. It should actually be a -28 and go that way. And it doesn't look... I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to take this guy. I did that math wrong. This one's... Yes, I have to move my pivot here. That's what I'm doing. This one's pivot needs to go here. So let's grab some X. 0.28, duh. When we were together. There we go. Like when you said you felt so happy you could die. So this one, I'm going to attach the two. You were right for me. Felt so lonely in your company. So that's the mistake that I made here. I actually only need half of what I'm doing. Because my distance isn't 0.28. If I zero this guy out so that he's in the right place, and we go look at where the next one has to go, the next one actually has to go at 0.56. And so I'm going to do my math again here. And that's 315. Polygon count should remain the same, but it means that I'm doing less duplication. So if I go 0.56, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go and do my array here again. Array. Well, you knocked me off. And how many am I doing? 315. That's actually 315 and a half. But 315 will be fine. In fact, I'm going to be able to get fewer than that. I'm going to try actually just 300. Yeah, that's giving me the right effect. So that's that jagged chainsaw chain that I'm looking for. Man, that's long. Okay. So I'm going to hit OK. Now, the array tool actually generates instances and not actual meshes. So I need to convert them all to an editable poly. I need to go find the one that's at 0. 'Cause I don't wanna live their way, reading into every word you say. You said that you would let it go, that I wouldn't have you hung up. Body that you used to know. Okay, I'm going to reset the X form on this thing as well. And then we're going to add a path to form modifier here. And it feels so rough, but you didn't have to stoop so low. You change your number. That I used to know, somebody used to know. That I used to know. That I used to know. That I used to know. That was the move to path. That's what was wrong. Okay, so there we go. So there's the chain on this thing. The cutting blades are on the wrong side. So I'm going to go to my rotation, and we'll just rotate it 180 so they're on the right side. Oh, tell me I modeled that correctly. Yes, they move forward so the cutting blade goes around that way. Okay. And this is why I wasn't too worried about the number, is that they disappear inside the chainsaw. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play with my percentage here until I get them kind of where I want them to be. Reasonable facsimile. Now this modifier, I can't collapse this to an edible poly. It doesn't work that way. You got to collapse it here in order to accept its shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to temporarily hide my geometry, grab my spline and delete it. It's no longer needed. And that gives me the blade on the chainsaw. Now, I think they're actually smaller than I want them to be on here. Because measuring. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to scale them out, which will make them look a little bit more imposing here too. And then they're actually, the spline was on the surface, so my little nuts are not where they're supposed to be, and you shouldn't have your nuts where you don't want them. I mentioned I'm drinking, right? So what I'm going to do, wow. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shrink the blade in a little bit. Before I do this, I'm going to go and remove these edges so that the inset works properly. I'm getting weird issues with Max again, where it's being a wee bit laggy. So insetting, and I'm going to do this in this view so that I can make sure the inset just kind of ends where the blade is, or where the chainsaw bit is, like that. So cool. I'll go around and delete that part. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. There's a cap on it here too that needs deleting. This guy. So we'll delete that. And then what I can do is I can just go back in here, these two things, and bridge them. And again, I want to do a double check that this still looks chainsaw-like. Sharp as fuck. Okay, now the dangerous part. Let's look at the polygon count and see where we are. Mother. Man, that sucks. So I knew the blade was going to be expensive. There was no way around that. But 60,000 triangles isn't doable. That is too expensive for what this is. Now, granted, I will be able to delete, this much. But that's not going to reduce it down enough. That's going from 68 to 62. So what I might do, I might see how much of this thing is actually buried inside the blade. Because those are then polygons that I can get rid of. So it looks like everything that is an underside, let's make the blade part transparent. And it looks like, come on, rotate. Oh man, it is 1 polygon. 2, 3. So that is going to reduce it. 8. I'm going to get 8 triangles times 300. That's not going to be enough. It's 240, 2400. That's not going to be enough. Ba-do-boom, ba-do-do. Feeling so small. Down in a hole. And I do have, like, I left a middle edge on here, which I could totally get rid of. I may have to do this again. In half. I may have to do this again, and maybe what I'll do... So I'm going to shrink the blade back in this way. Hopefully I didn't reset its transforms. I did not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squish it back in to the scale that it was. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to uniformly actually scale up the whole thing. So I need fewer. I just need fewer. I just need fewer. So this one and this one. Nope, not you. Okay, invert. 62,000 gone. And let's clean it up, I guess. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so I've got a couple things. Hide unselected. So I'm going to clean this thing up and see what I can do in terms of reducing its poly count. So let's do a before and after here and see how clean we can get this thing. It's 132 for just this piece of link. I would like both links to be under 100 if I can. I mean, nothing's round on here anymore. Like, it's really, really low. But I do have an idea, so watch this. So I'm going to first start by grabbing these, which I want these to be here. These are the bolts that hold the two versions of the links together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab those and delete them. I'm then going to grab the caps of the bolts and bridge. So what this is going to do is it's going to recreate the shape, but instead of being 130, why did I go up? Oh, 108 there. I lost 30 by doing that. And it, again, shape looks identical. Now there's a downside to that, which is I've got UV space, right? This is 1 polygon now, 2 triangles instead of 4. However, the other thing that allows me to do, let's hide the bolts. So hide selection. So what that did now is it gave me this guy, and I don't need the holes any longer, right? So the holes, if we go and collapse them down, are not helping anything. And since the holes do nothing, I can get rid of all of this. Okay, so polygons, and we're going to unhide all here. Polygons, unhide all. And I'm going to go to element again. So that was 132 that this piece was. And I got it down to 68. So that is, and it, again, visually it is identical to the way it was before. So that's good. I'm going to remove one edge from my cutting blade. It's not going to look as round, but that's okay. Pardon me. What is my total count on this thing? 156. A big iron on his hip. Big iron. No, you know what? I want to leave it on his hip. Okay. Let's reset the X form on this. Now, actually, I think it's a little, okay, I wanted to scale this guy, too. This effect pivot center to this guy, just for now. I want to scale this up so that I don't have to do as many of them. It's not going to look as realistic, but I think that'll be okay. I'm going to manipulate my pivot here as well. With time to kill, I borrowed Jed's rifle and sat on the hill. Yeah, see, that's too big. Went off in my hand, not trying out from across the land. So I'm gonna do that. I hung my head, and get it into the right place here as well. I'm gonna go check reference here. I don't know if the blades, if the entire chain goes inside of a groove on this thing or if they sit around it. It sits in a groove, so it shouldn't be on the outside. So that's good. I'll scale it back down a little bit. What I had done, just what I had done. You know what? I'm going to sharpen these blades. And I'm going to do that by target welding these vertices in to make a cutting edge out of this top. Head up in his chair. And then what verdict they find. So I posted to the general chat today while I was working for the studio today, as I normally do. I throw some Netflix on in the background and watch a little documentary or movie or something. And I posted a link to what I'd watched. There's actually a really good documentary about the history of video games that was brilliant, and I don't know how they managed to do this. It was a Netflix produced documentary. I don't know how they managed to do this, but they got everybody to play nice. Everybody. They don't go past the early 90s in terms of the history, so they don't mention Sony, they don't mention Microsoft. They kind of kill it at the SNES era kind of thing. But it's really, really cool. Like there are some really nice stories that are told in this documentary that are just brilliant to hear. And so I recommend you go watch that. It's some good watching. It's some good watching. Okay, so I'm going to do this again here. Effect pivot only. And this goes to 154. Like so. And I should have probably grabbed the height information from... do it from that. It should be the same thing anyway. Just do it that way. Insert. Paste. Ah, damn it. Insert. Paste. There we go. Okay, so that is position 1. Let's go zero this out. And let's go see where this one is in X. because that's where the next bolt is. 2.308. 2.3. I'm going to try and scale it down just a little bit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a plane or a box here, just to use as a reference guide. And I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it over here. And I'm going to move its... Convert this editable poly. Actually, here, let's put it at 0. Burp. And let's just set its length to 2. No, it's height to 2. I'm on the outside. I'm looking in. I can see through you. See your true colors. You're ugly like me. Really? Bastards. So what I want to do here... So this box is 2 units. And so what I'm going to do is go and place it at the origin. And now I have a frame of reference. I have an edge that I can use to get this edge as close to that as I can, so that this thing is going to be 2 units in size. So I'm just going to use the downward button here, reducing this by 1% every time. We'll get it closer before I go crazy. And down once, too much. Up once, too much. So let's do 99.9. Too much. 100.001. Okay, so that'll work. 0.005. I'm on the outside. I'm looking in. I can see through you. See other colors. Inside you're ugly. What's up, Ted? How are you, my friend? Okay, good enough. I'm going to reset the X-form on this thing, and we'll delete the little box. So the other thing I'm going to do here that I really should have done the first go-round is I'm going to put UVs on this. If I'm about to make... I lost it. There it is. If I'm about to make couple hundred copies of this thing, that'll be a pain in the ass to go unwrap that for reals. And so what I'll do is just go kind of unwrap it here and give myself kind of like some starting UVs so that when I clone it and I make a whole bunch more, I can actually just leave the UVs and just pack them, which should be okay. I may also have them all use exactly the same texture. I think a ton of these things would take up too much UV space, but who knows? We'll see. I'm on the outside, I'm looking in. I can see through you, see your true colors. Inside you're ugly, ugly like me. And I can see through you, see you're the real you. Okay. Good enough for now. I just want to get some UVs. I'm all right, man. I'm all right. It's been a weird day. I ran into issues with a model that I was working on for work that I couldn't figure out a good solution. I can't really explain what it is because I ain't telling you what I'm working on. But yeah, no, I just encountered a weird issue. It was a baking issue that I couldn't see a way around, and it sucked. There was nothing I could really do Come on, really? It was just one of those things that I couldn't see a way around it, and I didn't want to have to recreate an asset from scratch, and so it was kind of rough. But yeah, you know, things are good. Things are good. There is a tremendously short amount of time until the semester starts, which is both comforting to me. I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of things, and getting back to teaching again. I find teaching very grounding, and I feel it's the sense of regularity that I get from teaching that I really enjoy. It's part of what I really enjoy. But anyway, I'm looking forward to getting back into I was going to say back into the classroom, but that ain't happening. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting back into the rhythm of things again. I'm really looking forward to my kids getting back into the swing of things. It's been a shitty summer for those poor kids, and while I don't think this whole school thing is going to last, I'm anxious for them to see their friends and to be kids again. So we got the Java edition of Minecraft today installed on my old. So my old gaming laptop is now my son's gaming laptop. Until school starts, my wife has claimed it. But anyway, we went and installed that on there for him, and get him playing around with that. And man, he the hell is this? Oh, Max, you're so stupid. Boop. There we go. If UVs crumple on you, Max, when you're relaxing, odds are your UVs are inside out, and when you fix that, they relax like normal. So this guy, for instance, this guy here, that's having a hard time relaxing, odds are if I just flip it and relax again, it'll go normal, or not and make a liar out of me. There's also that possibility. Yeah, so we give my kid Java edition of Minecraft today, let him start playing around with something new. And man, he came up to me, he was bugging me while I was working, but he came into the studio and he was, "Dad, how do you make a text document?" I said, "A what?" He said, "A text file. I need to make a text file." I said, "Oh, okay. Just go to a folder and right click and say new text file." He said, "Okay." And he left the room. And like 10 seconds later, he came back in. He said, "What the fuck's a folder?" I was like, "I think you're in over your head, kid." And so I kind of got out of my chair and went to go see what he was up to. And he's trying to mod Minecraft. He's like, "Yeah, I got some stuff I want to do." And I was like, "Man, okay. If that's what you want to do, buddy, that's what you want to do." And so I told him, wait till the weekend. I've got work right now. I can't come fiddle with Minecraft with you right now. But give me to the weekend. And, I said, I'll sit with you and we'll go through and we'll learn how to mod Minecraft and I'll get you all set up so you can make your own shit. And so anyway, for the remainder of the day, every 10 minutes he was coming into the studio. Dad, did you know that you can do this and you can do this and you can do this? And Minecraft 1.16.42 gives you the ability to make your own biomes. I was like, dude, I'm in the middle of something. I got shit to do. Leave me the fuck alone. And so yeah. Anyway, that was my day. That was my day. Where's my rotate? There you are. Oink. I'm just using the align to edge here because this will give me cleaner UVs. 3, 4. Ba-da-da-doo. Doesn't seem like everything straightens, but whatever. It'll be close enough. You know what, Ted? I did play around with the idea of getting a new laptop, and as soon as we went to working from home, I said, fuck it. And I bought a desktop. And so that's it for me and laptops. I just couldn't wrap my brain around the dollar a day value that you get out of those things. And so, yeah, so I ended up not opting to do that anymore. And so I'm going to go a different route now. And so, yeah, well, I deleted my spline. I got to make another one. And so, yeah, so I bought myself a desktop. I spent the money on a desktop. I figured if I was going to be doing studio work from home and I was going to be doing schoolwork from home, that's what makes the most sense. I don't want to be sitting on a laptop while I'm in my own studio. And so I opted to go for that. And I don't know that it was the right decision or wrong decision. But you know, I'm also one of these dudes that suffers from major back problems carrying around a fucking 40-pound laptop day in and day out. So there's that. So if I can avoid ever doing that again, I will, I think. And so, yeah. Okay, so I need to do this in a intelligent way again. Let's isolate these. Oh, let's turn that off. So again, I want to measure my spliney here, in order to figure out how many of these things I'm going to need. So we are looking at 175.8. So we'll call it 176. So I got 176 divided by. Oh, well, this is stupid because I made them 2 units long, so I don't need to math this. So I've reduced the polygon count on this to half of what it was, and by scaling it up, the need for them has gone from 300 to 88. And so I'm hoping that is the end of my issues here. So let's go try this again. So I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to go to Thinking of Me Next Time Round. What the hell? Where's my array? There it is. Array! So we're going to do -2. Ba-do-do-do-do-do. We're going to do 88. I need 87. Preview. Okay, so it still looks very chain-like. It's bigger. That's all right. I'm going to hit OK. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to select all of these nodes, all of these chain links, with the exception of the first 2. And the reason for that is that I want to move their UVs. So if I have them all in exactly the same place, Shazbot, that's not going to work. I'll have to do that later. Shit. I would have to unwrap. Yeah, okay. Never mind. We'll leave it. Let's just turn the whole thing into editable poly. Convert to editable poly. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful about how I unwrap this this bit of chain. So reset the X form. Reset the X form on. Come on now. Okay, this guy. Come on, Max. Why does Max do this? It's so bad as of late. And it's your preference files. It's like the more customization you do in Max, the worse the software gets. It's just mental. Wipe the of your eye. Okay, so I went from 68,000 in the chain to 12.5. Ain't good, but it'll do. And again, I'm going to LOD this sucker too, so... Why are you not freaking rotating, Max? We are the ones that will never be so calm. With our final death, we'll do the death. We are soldiers. Oh. Okay. Holy shit, Max. And I'm not doing anything else on the machine. God, you suck. Let's see if this is any better. Let's maybe change it to performance mode. Ugh. Wind, dear, right beside you. Okay, let's get out of this. Your battle. Even just selecting a mesh and the software can't do it. I'm wondering if it's maybe, that doesn't make any sense. Where's my spline? What is going on? Oh my god, you suck, you piece of shit software. My goodness, Max. We stand shoulder to shoulder. Stand. You can't erase this. The spline's gone. Why are you so painful? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reboot Max and see if this helps. Look at this. I can't rotate. Okay, I'm going to grab all of this. This is all my geo. Let's make sure it's all my geo. Oh my god, you stupid software. Unhide all. We are soldiers. We are the ones. Okay, file, export, selection. Jesus. Whoa. Okay, totems. This is... some of these things have been renamed Leatherface. I don't need animation, just spit it out. So Max was doing this to me before, and the fix is to blow away your preferences file. And I was skeptical that that was actually going to do anything. But I did it, because I save all my preferences anyway. And so I reset my preferences, and the software went to, like, lightning quick. And I was like, well, that's really messed up. And so I started slowly implementing my customizations again to see at what point the software shits on itself. And it seemed to, like, I got all my customizations in, and it was still working fine. It just seems to shit the bed every now and then, and just, it doesn't know what to do. And so anyway, the only thing that is different about Max today is that that instance of Max that was just running with the chainsaw in it was open all day. I had that on my other monitor while I was working on work stuff, and I think that's what did it. I think there's a memory leak in Max, and it was just slowly getting worse over time. We'll see, because I'm going to import the exact same thing we were just working on here a second ago. I'm going to bring this back into Max, and we'll see And we'll see if performance is gone. So yeah, clearly I can rotate and move. Like nothing is shitty here. Other than I had Engons. And so Max was kind enough to triangulate my mesh for me. Have I mentioned that I hate this software? Oh, and these are all editable. Mesh now. Oh, you suck, you stupid software. But no, by all means, go ahead and charge people, you know, $3,000 a month to use it. Don't fix anything, though. You know. As one, just walk away. 'Cause love don't live forever. Just walk away. It was the spline. That's when it started going crappy. Was when I reset the export on the spline. Whatever. Now I'm out here on the ledge, barely hanging by a thread. We gotta rotate it 180. Just walk away. Just walk away. Okay. I'm not doing this again. So I had to shrink the blade in last time because I made a mistake on the blade. And I ain't making that mistake again. I'm going to do it a little different this time. So what I'm going to do, in order to make this so that I don't have to shrink the blade in, I just have to move my pivot down to this position. And then that's it. The system works. So if I do that, turn this off. And again, do a path deform. Go and pick that path. X, move it to path, rotation of 180, percentage of 100. And that should actually put it in the right place. Shazbot. Oh no, that's totally in the right place. Okay. I thought it was flipped, but no, that's in the right place. That's where I want it. Okay, so we're going to convert this to an editable polygon and never speak of this nonsense again. I'm in heaven tonight. So, okay, 17. So I got it from 60,000 down to 17. And I think it's fine. I think it'll work. For the running, my heart started pumping. And now I gotta get rid of my... and of course you're not gonna untriangulate the right way. God, I hate this software. I don't want you to triangulate on export. Ever. I don't care if there's Engons. Oh, what a pain in my ass. Oh, I don't want to fix this. I'm not going to be able to high poly it if I don't. I'm internally high. 1, 4, 3, got me running. Keep on coming. Are you ready for the best damn night of your life? Give me a hell. And give me a hell. Stupid software. You better hold on tight. And of course, all these software packages have a make everything quads button, but none of them work. Couldn't you just leave my shit alone instead of doing what you think is a fix, breaking my model, and then not providing me with the tools to actually fix it. Give me a hell, give me a yeah. Give me a yeah. It might be time to switch to classical music. Ease my mood. Ready to go. Well, Maya's the same shit in a different can. It's got its own problems. It's got a quadrify button too. And it suffers from a different problem that Max does, which is if the mesh can't be triangulated or quadrangulated for reasons that are only known to the software itself, it will not quadrangulate your mesh, but it won't fucking tell you why. It just says no. The problem with Blender is that there's just too many people working on it, and so nothing is consistent in that software. They're also trying to take on too much, where it wants to be ZBrush and Marvelous Designer and Maya and Max, and it just does none of them. I mean, it's nice that it's free, but I see that as the only benefit. As shitty as these Autodesk packages are, I still find them more reliable than Blender. Man. Escort service for all the right reasons and set up shop at the top of Four Seasons. Rock, and I'm a real McCoy, and I'm heading out west, sucker, 'cause I wanna be a cowboy. Gonna be a cowboy, baby. I can smell a pig from a mile away. Yeah, I know a lot of people that toy around with it. The problem is that, like I said, because it's open source and there's so many people that get their fingers into it, the inconsistencies of how the software work just make it unusable. You know, you'll never find a studio switch over because they won't be able to get everybody on board. And that's really, I mean, that's what they would need to do. They would need a clean break and just have everybody switch to something else. But without a good something else to switch to, right? Because it might be fine for modelers, but like the animation tools in it are a joke compared to Maya. And if the modelers are using Max and everybody else is still in Autodesk, then there's no point in switching. And so, yeah, all of the rumblings that I've heard from people in the industry is that industry people are starting to mess around with Blender in their spare time. But I haven't heard that anyone's actually making a switch. It seems that they're all kind of, I mean, the studios are what the studios are, right? It's different when the studio pays for the software because the money becomes not an issue anymore, right? It's just the cost of the software. The studio eats it, and telling a studio like EA or somebody that, you know, they don't have to spend. Oh, that's where the end gone was. They don't have to spend thousands of dollars on software. Like that's a drip in the bucket, man. Drop in the bucket, drip in a bucket, a drop in a bucket. Radio edit. Cowboy. I'm gonna switch my tunes over here. And it's a pain because I have to get rid of the triangles because I need to high poly this stupid thing, and I can't high poly it with triangulation. There is something in this world. Whoa. I give this part of me from you. Let's not do that one. Rain down on here again. Oh, these guys. I'm sure I'm missing some more of the triangles that need cleaning, but I won't know where they are until I do the high poly. Down in a hole, and I don't know if I can be saved. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's fine. So this is where the Engon was. I had this edge was removed. Madre Dios. Okay, nothing else got triangulated, which is good. So what I'm going to do now is I got to separate it so that I've got the proper components for baking. Turn my fan around. Sweltering in here. Or I've been drinking. It's one of the two. Moving control. Down in the hole. Okay. So, separate components. No, it's part of 2020, Christian. Max 2020. If you export an FBX that has an Engon, Max will convert it from editable poly to editable mesh, and it will triangulate the mesh to prevent Engons from going anywhere. It's the most ridiculous thing that's ever been. Okay, so this one's already got a name. Handle, dial, grip, trigger. Yeah. Yeah, you can thank Autodesk for that little fucking nugget. It's like fucking software made by Donald Trump. I'd like to fly. I think I'm going to reduce these a little bit. I'm not happy with the, I'm not happy with this screw head in here. I'm going to get rid of that. In fact, I'm going to use my angle select. We'll go to 5. And we'll do that. Oh, I wanna be inside of you. Oh, I wanna be inside. Oh, I wanna be inside. Ooh. Oh, I wanna be inside, down in a hole, feeling so small, down in a hole, feeling my soul, down in a hole. Feeling so small. Okay. fly, but my wings have been torn in half. Okay, so let's grab these nuts and detach them. I'm going to just call this nuts as that's side plate. That's good. And we're going to attach that to it. And that to it. No, that's another side plate. God damn it. Decollage. Boom, boom, boom. This guy's the filter. I called it vent. That's fine. That guy's attached. Okay, let's double check that everything's got a name. Blade, body, chain, dial, grip 1. What the fuck is grip 1? That's the pull start. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these things. Okay, detach. This is gasket. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh. Shape 1. I left my spline in there. Okay, blade, body, chain, dial, gasket, grip, handle, end bolts, end butts. It's a typo. Pull start, side plate 2. Started engine, that should be starter engine. Trigger and vent. Okay, so there's some spelling snafus. Like nuts. What was the other one? Engine, starter engine. Not started engine, starter engine. Blade, body, chain, dial, gasket, grip, handle, nuts, pull start, side plate 2. Capital S. It looks like the blade doesn't actually fit inside. That's fine. Okay. So let's move this thing back over. Come on, you. It's going to go here. Now, I could have actually shrunk the blade down too. There are some of these things that actually have smaller blades, but I thought it looked a little bit more Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a big blade on it. Let's also... I'm bleeding me. I'm going to put these all to the origin and reset the X-form on this. That way, if anything gets moved, I just got to put them back to 0 to get rid of them, or to get them back again. So, projects, cabin in the woods, FBX, totem meshes, and this is Leatherface. Leatherface. Let's make sure. Advanced options. That's fine. Advantages by normals. Preserve engine orientation. It might be the preserved. No, that can't be doing it. I don't know. I don't know. Triangulation's turned off. It's just fucking Max being stupid. Okay, my list for totems here has gotten pretty small. Which is... it's the one thing that I'm trying to like really get through here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 totems. The chainsaw is going to soon enough replace the raving lunatic. I'm going to do maybe Plantius and Mutant next. See what I can do with those. Unlike some days where I get a little work in between dinner and work, I ended up working a little bit later today, and got nothing done on my own stuff. Okay, so this is the map back to where it was. Okay, Maya should be open by now. So let's spit some UVs out here as quickly as I can. Now I want to be careful. I want to be careful. I need the chain here before I do anything, because the chain has been unwrapped. And so I'm going to move this aside. I want to kind of just preserve that. And we can remove the chain and we'll do everything else. Just so that I don't accidentally screw up the UVs that are already there, because again, I've got a plan. I got a plan. Okay. Let's start. Let's move all this shit up here. Let's start with this guy, because his UVs are pretty simple. There's my unfold. Unfold. Whoa, I didn't. That's really cool looking, but not what was intended. And I'm going to break it here too. Here too. Oh, no. Wow. Okay, let's straighten this shit out. Arrange, straighten the edge. Transform. Let's do, I think I'm going to do them all horizontally. I tend to, I don't know why. It doesn't matter one way or the other if they're vertical or horizontal, but my brain tends to work in horizontal. I find whenever given the option, I make things horizontal and not vertical. I don't know if you guys are like that, or if you experience something other, or if you don't even notice. You're just like, unwrap it, just fucking put a seam on it. But I definitely have a UV layout preference that breaks my brain if I'm not thinking. So I'm just looking to see what the default layout of UVs looks like on this. It got me most of the way there, I think. This can be... That's fine. That can be seamed together. Wait, what? Why are you now curvy? That shouldn't have curvied at all. Okay, let's not do that. At least you feel something. I wish I knew what it was like. That's why there was another edge on here. I am machine. My eyes wide open. I am machine. I could just feel something. So we got projects on the way. What are you guys working on? Christian, I know you're gonna go do another gun now, right? That seems to be your thing. You're the firearms guy now, right? Melissa, I saw your environment. I gotta say, Melissa, I forgot to mention this. So you posted something new in the Discord, which was a little video turnaround of your assets or your little diorama, and I was actually taken aback by something you did that just it surprised me. I didn't expect it, which was the animation on the cloth on the clothesline. I saw the turntable and I saw the stuff looking around, and I was kind of looking at it. I was like, oh yeah, it looks like models, looks like kind of like white box, gray box type stuff. And then to see even the fact that your camera stopped and you had those things kind of fluttering in the wind, brilliant choice. That is one of those things that was very unexpected when it happened. And I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks really natural. But it was one of those things that that really helps to sell what it is that you're doing, right? If you've got, and it's something that I try to instill on most of my students, is that you want, as best you can, you want everything to feel alive, even if it's static, right? Even if there's nothing in your environment that should be alive or should be moving. You want some sign of it not being a photograph. And I wasn't expecting that thing to move. And so when it did, when the camera ended up around the back and it started doing its thing and fluttering, I was like, that's brilliant. So kudos to you. If you're still here, you're probably gone. But yeah, what's other people working on? What are you guys plugging away on? If you guys haven't seen Melissa's diorama, go check it out in the Discord. It's lovely, as you may have heard me mention a moment ago. Damn it. What is that? It's worth... Got backwards edges here. That might have actually been what pooched my shit. Bum bum bum. Yeah, it is right up your alley there, Ted. And Christian's got a rifle. The model's currently rendering, and it'll probably take all night. Where are you rendering, Melissa, if I may ask? God damn it, there's another one. Is it this? There it is. Everything is done in Blender, eh? Cool. You have to have it all. You greedy little bastard, you will get what you deserve. I can remember. Ooh, wow, that was stronger than I expected it to be. I remember a game I worked on when I first got into the industry was a first-person shooter, Counter-Strike-ish kind of thing, and none of the lighting was dynamic. Again, it was all it was really basic what we were doing, and And in order to process the lighting to get like ambient occlusion on everything, like everything was getting baked in. But in order to bake it all in, we had to process it on several computers. So there was a point in time where we left the studio for the night and had every machine in the studio on, and they were all connected to the network via Swarm, which is Unreal's rendering genie in a bottle kind of thing. It's a network communication thing that uses multiple computers to render render what normally should be one computer rendering. And it was about 3 days for every computer in the studio to process this map of our game. And again, like, we're not talking like this is a multiplayer map. It wasn't even all that big. But just, you know, the technology of the time and you know, what Unreal was capable at the time of doing, and what you could do elsewhere. It was painful, man. It was really, really painful. I'm so glad those days are over. Even just like, for me, like going one project to another. The last thing I built on my own, which was a bathroom diorama I did ages ago, that took my poor little laptop 17 hours to do the lighting, and that was all light map baked, right? That was all doing static lighting so that it was cheaper, so that the map would actually run properly. Even though I wasn't really doing much in it, it was still about performance. And when you compare that to what I've got now, which, like, the lighting in this is gorgeous, and there is no light map baking in this. Everything I'm doing is dynamic. All my lights in this level are all real-time lights. They're all dynamic lights. So it means that I don't have to bake anything. I don't have to do anything that way. But Unreal's just capable of doing that kind of thing now. And so, you know, I don't even need Swarm. At no point do I have to go up here, say bake, and bake my lighting quality. That is a thing of the past with this. And because all the lights are dynamic, I'm also not using any light maps. So I'm not worried about the resolution of a second UV channel on any assets. And, you know, one asset being a little blurrier than something else because, you know, I've got it set to 64 instead of 128. Like, all that's gone. It's not even a part of what I consider my workflow anymore. And so that's lovely. Why do I love you? Have you thought, Melissa, about bringing it into a game engine, Unity or Unreal, and doing some game lighting on it? I know you're in the design program, but you've obviously got a knack for the modeling side of things as well, right? I just wonder if it might be better for you to show your stuff that way. You know, inside of a... Oh, I feel like I moved that. I definitely moved it. This is the one thing I hate about Maya. Let me go check in Max. It might not. I might actually have fucked it up in Max. Yeah, no, I totally fucked it up in Max. Okay. I hate that you can middle mouse button drag, and it fucks up your model. Which, you know, holding Alt and middle mouse button moves your model, and so I don't like that. If I had a bone to pick with Maya, that would be it. That would be the bone. Right there. That one. Pick it. Love you. Let's see what we get here. That's not too bad. No, don't do that. You need a better computer there, sweetheart. If that's the bit that's slowing you down. Okay, let me see if I can do it this way. This. What is this? This is a good tune. Oh. Well, you'll get there eventually. It is kind of ironic that that the way this works is that when you need the computer, when you're a student, is when it's too expensive for you. And by the time you get into the industry, you won't be caring about doing this stuff in your free time, right? Like it'll be your 9 to 5, and you'll get home and you'll want to do anything else but. And so, I do find that I giggle at that a little bit sometimes. I might go stitch this guy in here. Oh, that didn't get better. There we go. That's not an easy question to answer. So we've changed buildings, right, Ted? Obviously, you've been to the new one. And they have moved all the computers from one room to another. I still have Cintiqs in my room, and I still have the trash cans in my room. But I don't know that anything has changed beyond that. I don't know. I haven't a clue. And so I don't know. I don't know is like the best answer I can give you. Well, that got a little crooked. Okay. How are we doing here? What is this stuff? About nothing and everything all at once. I am one of those melodramatic fools. Neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? I don't know. Got a message from my father. He's asking me how sales are going on Scully. I don't know. I don't check that stuff. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Christian, I worked at RCC for, I want to say 6 years I was there. And I don't think I ever saw them replace the machines. It was always the same machines. They bought new machines at one point. They bought new machines while I was there, but they were the only reason they bought them was because somebody stole all the Macs. There was a audio lab full of Mac computers, and somebody backed a truck up to the door and just like emptied the school, just took them all. And so yeah, that was the only reason I ever saw them upgrade the computers there. They claim that they put new video cards and stuff in that, but yeah. Okay, apologies for the interruptions. My father is very much wanting to be talkie time right now, and I've got shit to do. I'm live streaming, dude. Yeah, I hear you, Melissa. On one hand, I get the schools are doing what they can. You know, these situations are like, this is nothing anybody could have foreseen coming. And you know, even just getting licenses for the students to be able to use the software, like, it's really cool that they're doing that. But I would be frustrated too. I would absolutely 100% be frustrated. And I don't blame any student that is, man. It's a really shitty situation. And so I hope they I hope they do some kind of things to help you guys out with this stuff. Like, you guys are the ones that are suffering because this is happening, right? And I mean, picture the first years too. I feel bad for the first years, man. Coming in and not having ever had lab access, especially if it's a program that they applied to, because they knew that there were going to be machines there too. And this is not a criticism of Sheridan, right? This is every school's going through this. They're all trying to figure out how to operate in this situation that we find ourselves in. They're all trying to figure out how this works. You've got a ton of international students that are now applying to come to schools in Canada because they don't have to travel to Canada now. They can actually take advantage of our education system while still living in their home nation. And, that's something that's never been dealt with before either, right? And so there's all kinds of things that the schools are just really, really, really struggling with trying to get a grasp on, and making sure that everybody, like, the main goal is to make sure that everybody gets the education that they want. And that's a really tough thing to do. To make sure that everybody's getting the same experience they would have anyway. And here's one. I don't know if you've thought about this, Melissa, or if Rich, if you're still here. What happens to Sprint Week, or the week previously known as Sprint Week? How do we do that? It's still in every class as part of your grades, and I haven't heard hide or hair about what's going to happen with that. And so there are still unforeseen issues with what we're dealing with that, people just don't know how to do things the way they were done. It's still happening. How can they? Oh my God, that is. How can they do that though? How can they make students get together for grades? And how do you okay, let's say for instance, Melissa, that you have asthma or you live with an elderly relative. Are you going to be forced to lose 5% of your grade because you're concerned about the health of a loved one? Man, I think they should have just ditched it. How do you hold? You can't hold a sprint week in this. Oh, phooey. Phooey, I say. That's rough, man. That's rough. Yeah, I don't know that I would have been okay with sprint week happening. I mean, does that mean that I now have to be at the school for sprint week? Because I might have some words about that, too. Because I am not going to be at the school. Well, you can't, right? I mean, there are things that you can do to make it work. It's going to be more difficult. But that's everything's more difficult right now. In terms of making it work, that participation thing, that's really easy. You just make sure that when you do the grading, that you guys evaluate your own group. It means that, again, we're not able to police who's working and who's not, and some friends might cover for some friends, but as long as the groups are again a random kind of thing, it might mean that you guys are just in charge of doing it yourselves. But I don't know. So Sprint Week is something that Sheridan holds. It used to be called Sprint Week. And they're trying to change the name of it now. The week after break week, every semester, they hold essentially what is a week-long game jam. Every student in the 4 years of the program is put into random groups. So you get students from each year in one group. And every sprint week that they do, they change the theme of what it is that you're supposed to be making. And it accounts for a part of your grade as well. So, people that skip out on it end up missing out on some of the grades for it. Some people actually, factor that in, and they'll take the hit for a second week off. But it's pretty fun, and so your instructors still go in. And I'm not teaching a lecture at this point in time. Instead, what the teachers do is they are there to be kind of technical support and, give them some criticism and some feedback, and kind of try and help keep them on track. And then, yeah, it's kind of, a fun time is had by all. It is something that I think should be done at more schools. I think it is a very worthwhile thing to do. It To me, of all the things I've seen done in schools, of all the classes, the assignments, the rubrics, all of the things that students do in schools, Sprint Week is the most just like the industry that I've ever seen. Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's similar to what your last week is at our or your last semester at RCC, but that's you've got an entire semester there, and you guys are given carte blanche with your games, which I think is a major mistake because everybody fucking makes the same game at RCC. Everybody thinks they're making the next fucking greatest thing, and everybody just makes the same fucking game over again. We had something like 6 survival horror games in a row. And it was funny because all of them, all the students did was just make it fucking black and give the character a flashlight. And it's like that's not survival horror. That's fucking shitty lighting. And so it's kind of funny. I think there's a little too much freedom in that one. At one point, I don't know if you were aware of this, Christian. You must have been aware of this. I gave Brad the game theme generator that I had written, so that this what I'm making right now is actually part of that system. Right? It started off with my whatchamacallit, my diorama class doing that, my lighting and rendering class. But yeah, it was a generator that I wrote for Brad, so that he could actually have the students have good ideas, and so they were kind of forced down a little bit of a path. But I mean that happens, and Rich, you kind of touch on this too, right? 4 failed jams, and 2 better ones, and Christian. Even with the freedoms given you guys at RCC with your projects, that is the industry, right? Not every game you're going to work on in the industry is going to be a winner. You're going to get some games that you're like, why the fuck am I making this? And there's going to be stuff that you're just not happy with. It happens. I can remember working at this is fucking years ago now, working at Bedlam, and the studio was given carte blanche to make a game, and our game, the studio director and our lead designer and a couple of the like major team leads as well, they all kind of sequestered themselves for a little while. I think they took like a weekend resort or something like that, to come up with a game idea. And I remember them we had a Monday meeting where they were like, okay, so we're going to announce to the team now, this is the game that we're going to make. And it was, oh my God, when they announced it, half the studio looked at one another like they're fucking kidding, right? Like, no, for real. What are we making? The game that they had proposed was a first-person game in which you're an employee in an office. You work in a cubicle, and the goal of the game is to get fired. And so it's one of these things where like you're trying to be a jackass in the office in order for them to fire you so that you can get your severance and leave. And when they announced this to the studio, we all kind of looked at each other like, are you fucking serious? That's what you want us to make? You went away for a weekend and you came back what sounds like a fucking joke that got carried too far. Yeah, that's harsh. But yeah. Yeah. Not FPS, Christian. A first person game. It wasn't a shooter. It was a first person game. Very big difference. Just FP, not FPS. But yeah, that was the premise. That was their fucking brainchild. And it was like, are you fucking kidding me? And so the studio director got really offended that nobody liked his idea, as one does. Um, and he ended up having everybody submit their game ideas. He's like, fine, you guys think you can do fucking better? Everybody submit a game idea by Monday. And so, like, the entire studio came to a standstill as we all, like, kind of scrambled to try and make something. What's going on here? That's what's going on. Yeah, sometimes you just got to do your own shit, though, Rich. You know, that's what you're looking at here. Is me doing that? You know, this is my fuck it, I'll do it myself. There is an upside to that, though, that, you know, eventually you do find people like yourself. You find people that have the same drive you have and have the same, you know, work ethic and are interested in making the same kind of games that you have interest in making. When that happens, that's generally when you get these really good games, right? That's generally when you get these era-defining games, is when you get a studio of people that are like that. When you get a bunch of people that are just like, yeah, whatever, I'll make this game. What the hell is going on with this? I'm leaving you. I know when I went to school, there was a programmer with whom I did most of my work. I went to, so my schooling was like RCC, right? It was a little bit of everything, some programming and some scripting and some everything. And I ended up in first term. So there were, I think, 6 classes in first semester, and in my class, I was the only one to do anything worthwhile. And when we presented our game at the end of the semester, because we made a game in first semester, another group had a programmer that he was really frustrated with his group because he had done everything, and he was really pissed off that they didn't contribute. And we had a hangout after the semester, you know, kind of like, we did it kind of thing, victory. And he and I started talking, and we kind of took it upon ourselves to, like, that was it. Like, you did all the work in your class? Yeah, I did no fucking work in my class. And he and I ended up becoming really good friends. And part of that was that we had the same work ethic, and, you know, we ended up really pulling each other through school, and ended up with a really good, you know, final project at the end of the semester, or at the end of the school, because we were similar people. And so, you know, sometimes that happens, right, where you just end up with people that are the same, and that kind of thing. But most of it just has to do with where you're going, where, you know, where do you see your career taking you? Right now, you guys are all youngins, and, you know, fucking sky's the limit. You can go and do whatever the fuck you want. But I'm not at that point. I'm definitely at a point where, you know, I think long and hard about what I want to do with my time. You know, I'm in my 40s, and I'm not going to be doing this forever. And so I want to use the time that I have wisely. And, you know, I've gotten to a point in my career now where I feel like I'm entitled to be able to pick what I want to work on and not have to make bullshit games. And so, you know, that's that's kind of a an upside to that as well. Um, a mobile strategy game. Skills are all over the place and egos are high. And the sake of having a big ego. Yeah, it's good. It's tough, man. Especially at that school where it feels like everybody's just trying to prove themselves at that school, right? And I don't know if it's just the way that that school is, but you know, it is something that I've noticed there. Um, it happens, right? It's one of those things. Um, it is what it is. Ain't no getting away from it. Do do do. Well, maybe you guys start finding in our little community that we're developing here. Maybe you guys start finding out that there are individuals in the group that are more like yourselves, and that, you know, for most of you, school is ending, coming to an end, or has already ended, and those groups don't matter no more. I think that's one of the things that I really benefited from going to school later in life than all of you people have, which is there was no bullshit with me. You know, that was something that there didn't need to be any bullshit, because I was too old for bullshit, and I wasn't going to put up with bullshit. But I can see that a lot in young people, especially when you're with groups of people that, you know, egos become a thing and people are jostling for superiority or leadership, and everybody kind of wants to be in charge, and everybody wants to be responsible for the success, but nobody wants to take credit for the shitty decisions that are made. And, you know, none of that ever hit me. I was too old for that bullshit when it happened, and to be honest, I didn't. If there was a student that didn't like what I was doing, I didn't give a fuck. I developed that motto very early on in my artistic career. The I don't give a fuck. I just don't. You don't like what I'm doing, I don't care. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and, you know, I'm not hurting anyone doing what I'm doing, and so you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. That, I think more people need that. More people need I don't give a fuck in their lives, because it's a very smart way to live. Things don't get you down. My wife often claims that I don't suffer from stress, but I'm a carrier. And I think it's because of this I don't give a fuck way of life that I have lived. I make me happy. I make my family happy. Fuck everyone else. Yeah, no, that's. I mean, there's validity to that too, right? Like, obviously, you got to be able to take criticism, and you know, you've got to be able to grow from criticism. Nobody. This is something I try to tell all my first year students. Nobody ever learns from a pat on the back. You know, if I see someone who can 3D model and they don't push themselves. So here, Melissa's a really good example of this. Not someone who didn't push themselves. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is that Melissa was the opposite of that, right? She came into my class, a modeling class in a design program, with the ability to model already. She, worked in Blender. And from what I saw in my class, she still pushed herself in my class. She didn't just rely on her abilities and do the assignments that had already been assigned to her. And she kind of pushed herself further. And that's the kind of thing you need. Getting away with murder. Yeah. That's not criticism, Rich. That's just... I mean, everybody's got an eye for what they do and don't like, but I don't like something isn't criticism. That doesn't fit the art style, or that is too low poly, or I don't like the way that was done. Okay, cool, I can work with that. But just saying I don't like something, or that doesn't make sense, good for you. Okay, let's see how I'm doing here with this thing. So it looks like I've got everything but the chain done. I've had people that I've worked for that have given me feedback on something that they knew absolutely nothing about. And this happens a lot when you're a character artist, right? I study anatomy. I do anatomical studies to try and keep my skill set up. And every now and then, I get someone that comes in and, I get contracted to do a character for somebody. And I do a character for them and I submit it. And they're like, oh, yeah, I don't really like this. And I feel like the arms are too long. And I think maybe this is out of place and whatnot. Okay, totally, yeah, I'll make another pass on it. Knowing that I have more anatomical knowledge than them, I don't usually listen to what they have to say when I know that their criticism is incorrect. And what I've done in the past is submitted a render from a different angle or a different FOV. Don't change the model at all, and I just like, okay, here, how do you feel about this now? And I show them the model again, and 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh man, that looks so much better. And then, like, that's it, I submit the model. I've had that happen more often than not, where they're unable to articulate what they think is wrong with my artwork. And often, it's not even that there's anything wrong with the artwork. A lot of times, it's going to be things like the angle at which you've taken this particular render makes the arms look short. And the way that they actually criticize it is, oh, the arms are too short, fix the arms. And in reality, like that, no, the arms are fucking fine. But again, that's their criticism, and they're entitled to it. But I find 9 times out of 10, I do something like that. Uh-oh. Oh, no, that worked. It worked. Lovely. I'm straightening up a couple of these things here that were wonky. You gotta remember, I've got 80 clones on top of one another here, so every time I adjust one, it gets a little wonky. Now, I don't want to move these things. What I'm gonna do, watch this. So I'm gonna rotate them 90 degrees here, and I'm gonna scale them down. I'm gonna try and keep them as large as I can, and I'm just gonna tuck them into this corner here. Something like that. Again, I've got a couple of, my nuts are in the wrong place. But and again, Melissa, you can't say that, right? Especially if this is a contract you're working on and the person is paying you to do the work, right? You can't tell them they don't know what they're talking about. You can't tell them that, no, you're wrong, that the arms are fine. It's their artwork. You're just the one making it. And so on occasion, you're forced to go tweak things, and it happens. It happens. Okay, so if you noticed here, I went and tucked in the saw blades. I went and tucked them into this corner here. So I've got a really nice UV pack on this thing now, which if I go and kill this thing and go and export this again, file, export, selected. We're going to FibX this. I just saw it right there. Projects, Cabin in the Woods, AvX, Totem Meshes, Letterface. I'm going to go back to Max. I'm going to delete this one, and we'll import the new one. Okay, so what I want to do here in Max, it looks like, I'll change my color because Maya fucked up the color. It looks like some smoothing groups have gotten a little wonky. So this mesh in particular looks off. I think everything else is okay. This mesh here got moved, and I don't know when this happened, but it's in the wrong place. And it looks like it's actually a face got moved. So I can sort out where it's supposed to be. So if I grab these vertices here, if I look at their Y position, like so, that should be where the 4 vertices at this end go in Y. And that should put it flush with the plane again. And then the only other thing that I want to do, it looks like there's a vert out of place here too, is go grab this guy. And again, grab it. Come on, grab a vertex. And I'm just going to grab the X position here. And close that. If you think you want me, I'll paste this in here. Okay, so that's better. The other thing I've got to do is I've got to clean up the chains. So I don't want to have all of these UVs on top of each other. That is going to be a disaster happening. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose one of the ones kind of in the top here. That's going to be these guys. And I need one instance of the chain link. So that's it there. So that's 2 cutting teeth and the piece in between. So the 2 cutting teeth is next. And I'm going to invert my selection. So this is all but one of the teeth. And I'm going to go into my UV here, and I'm going to do something called a UVW X form. And all this is going to allow me to do is just shift these UVs over by 1 unit. So what this will do... Pardon me, the other sneeze. So what this is going to do is it's going to move all of the UVs, if you go look at them here. In the 0 to 1 box, I have the single link that I wanted. All of the other ones are in exactly the same place on the next UDIM, the next channel over. And what that's going to allow me to do is when I bake inside of Substance Painter, only that one, whatever one it was, only that one is actually going to bake. All of the other ones are going to get ignored. So whatever AO goes onto that one, it'll go onto every single one of these. And that'll give me a pretty good looking effect. So, I just want to double check that smoothing groups look the way they should. Maya can sometimes break things, so my nuts are all broken. Let's bring... Wow. So I just want to make sure the tops of these guys are a different smoothing group. because that'll look better. And that looks fine. So this thing here too. So I've got a chamfer on this mesh, and it's actually smoothing incorrectly. So we're going to clear everything and put smoothing group number 1. Now that smoothing group number 1 is on, I'm going to remove the outer mesh. All over now. Save me, save me. Switch this to 2. And switch this one to 3. And that'll actually make sure that it rounds around that corner. I'm trying to lower this guy too. Trying to get through. Okay, so if I remove the bottom, no. Do it again. There we go. So again, I just want to make sure that that is smoothing around that chamfer. I've got a chamfer down here too. And again, this whole thing is all chamfered and it's not working. So we'll give it a whirl here. This is the grip. So we'll try and smooth it. And so there's some issues here. Ooh. It's a peculiar issue. How many vertices are there here? 2. Whereas there should be 1. That looks better. Okay. And I think that'll look good enough. Nightmare. Now your nightmare comes to life. So the only other thing I got to do here is set my low poly, high poly for baking. So I'm going to go to Tools, Rename Objects, and we're just going to add a suffix to this, which is going to be _low for Substance Painter. Wink, and now those things are all renamed. I'm going to put them into a new, whoops, don't lock them, a new folder here called low. And we'll come back and revisit that again. So we're going to grab these things, export them. Export selected. Should have known your price of leaving. So I'm going to go and clone these now. Like so. Move the clones to another layer that's going to be called high. Now your nightmare comes to life. So tools, rename objects again. Again, I'll get rid of the base name. Suffix this time is going to be high, and I'm going to remove the last 6 digits. Like so. And now all my names match, and this is my high poly. So I'm going to throw in a chamfer modifier. Again, the chain's going to fuck everything up. We're going to go to unsmooth. I'm going to turn off the minimum angle. We're going to bring the amount down to nada. And then I'm going to increase it ever so slightly. Let's go to 0.1. And then we'll throw a turbo smooth on here, and we'll give it 4 iterations. Let's go to 3 iterations. Ooh, it's your fucking nightmare. So now, all I gotta do is just clean up the shit that doesn't work. So there's a little bit of wonkiness in the grip back here. And that's because the topology is really fucked up there. These guys all kind of went mental on me. And again, not really their fault. There's kind of a faceplate here. So this... Let's get rid of that one. So I'm going to set this to 10 and not 1. And then I'm going to go over here and add the 1 back again. And that should give me a corner here. And then I have to go through this. And we're just going to remove everything else. Right. Not to... Yeah, I'm going to have to do that one too. Let's do this instead. Good, lovely. I'm just going to auto smooth that. There we go. I'm going to make my chamfer unique on this object because it's not working. Let's undo that. I'm going to make the chamfer unique. And now I'm going to reduce the amount until that mesh works again. This guy's broken as well. I think I'm going to go this way. Okay, we'll auto smooth that. Now your nightmare comes to life. The price of evil. Yeah. Everybody to fear. So I'm also looking for places like this where it rounded, but the low poly has very clearly got a corner there. And while that corner doesn't really need to be emphasized, it should actually be there. So same thing here. You can really see it here, right? Where I've got a metal plate that's got a bend in it, but then the underside curves. And the reason it's curving is that there's a smoothing group off right here. I am still dreaming with your... Only in dreaming of the West Coast. I don't wanna be your downtown. I don't wanna be your stupid game. My big black boots and an old suitcase. So this guy here is still mucking up the bottom here. You can see I'm getting some pinching where the triangulation is. So the trick with this is, while the topology was really good here for low poly, it's not doing so well for the high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this edge over here. If I can get to the right one. There we go. So I'm going to cut this guy over here, and we're going to remove this unneeded, and this is now unneeded. And that's going to give me an edge here that I can clean with, or clean up a little bit. And so I'll do the same thing here. I'm just going to go and grab cut, if I can find it. Cut. There it is. And I'm just going to, let's go from the vertice. And let's go here. I don't know where this is going to go, so I'm just going to end it right here. N-gons are just fine when you're doing high poly, so that'll actually read okie dokie, provided they're flat, right? I don't want to have this non-planar because that'll mess things up. I also want to continue these edges downwards. Again, it would be nice. Where's my cut tool? If they don't. Damn guy. Street walk dance anymore. So that really cleaned up the shape here and here. And you can see that it actually brought the topology underneath this object a little bit, which is not an issue, provided I take this guy, auto smooth him, boink, and then go, look at this. This is 10, and this is 1. So I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to add 1 to the 10. And that should now render beautifully. And make sure the same thing's not happening in the front, which it doesn't appear to be. And yeah, that piece looks really solid. And again, I want to... Again, there's a corner right here that should be a corner, and the high poly's rounding it. Not that the rounding looks bad, it's just if I try to bake that, it's not going to work. Yeah, watch the world die. And so, in order to make it work, I need to put the edge that's supposed to be there. Watch the world die. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so that looks good, that looks good, that looks good. I think there is only the grip, and we can export this shit. This too. This just needs a different group. Yep, that's cleaner. Okay, so let's see what we can do with the grip. So the first thing is just go and auto smooth that. And that did most of what I wanted. Actually, I think that's going to be good enough. Okay. I'm probably done. Oh, I didn't look at any of the chain. Maybe we should look at the chain. You think we should look at the chain? You think we should look at the chain? Okay. We'll look at the chain. I don't know what the fuck to do with the chain. There is so much chain. I should have actually made a note of which one of the... well, I can probably go check. Let's go and look at the UVs on the low. I need to find out exactly which link has the normals correct. Okay. So I'm going to look at this edge. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's bolts 11 and 12. Thank you very much. Bring that back. We'll just turn this off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one. No, this. There we go. Wow, was that actually the right one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11, 12. That's mental that I was able to do that. Okay, so let's auto smooth this fucker. Yeah, that looks fucking terrible. Auto smooth. These guys, auto smooth. Are you working now? Whoa. I would say that's not doing anything. Okay, it might be that the chamfer is just really too big on this. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. So I'm going to make the chamfer unique, zero it out, and just bring it up a little bit. There's something really weird going on with this. It won't smoothing group. Why is it not doing anything? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save myself some heartache here. Watch this. Since none of the other links are important, I'm going to grab all of these polygons. So these are the links that I'm actually going to texture. And I'm going to add the one in front of it and the one behind it. So that. And then I'm going to invert my selection and collapse this down. And now, if I go in here and I go to polygon selection, it'll remember what I had. I can delete all of that. And the reason I can delete it is that it's not even going to bake. It's not important. And so this gives me now the ability here to really go and define this. So I'm going to set this down to 1, auto smooth, check the turbo smooth. Wish it would stop zooming out like that on me. Yeah, and that'll bake nicely. In fact, I might be able to... You got another thing coming. I think I'm going to leave it just like that, actually. Okay. Export this shit. Badoo. Fucking, it's already 11. I almost overwrote the low poly. You have to take great care when you work on a project that is important to you, and you have a big ass glass of scotch, because you will fuck shit up that you won't be able to recover from, and so you need to be careful. You got another thing coming. You got another thing coming. Okay. Let's make a new 2K projects. What's this called? Cabin in the Woods. FBX. Totem. Leatherface. Alright. You got another thing coming. Ba-da-da. Ba-do-da. So, 2K16. Let's go add me high poly. OBJ. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but I've been overwriting the same OBJ file for my high polys for almost every asset. I don't see a need in filling my hard drive up with OBJs that I'm going to forget about and have 3 terabytes of high poly meshes that I'm not going to need ever again. And so I've been overwriting the same file. And again, I can regenerate the high polys if I ever need them, but once I'm happy with the texturing, I don't see a point. You got another thing coming. Let's see how we do. So let me go take some looky-loos at what I need to do with the texturing for this thing. I kind of want to make it look a little bit like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre chainsaw if I can. Might lag out here while I'm baking. Apologies if that's the case. Cool. So I would say these bakes are as expected. Oh, there's one right there. So there's an edge that I didn't get that needs gutting. Let's go back into Max here. And so, yeah, that's on this guy. So there's an edge right here. That should have actually been its own tang in order to give me that sharpness there. So I'll go overwrite that high poly again. Change my intent, good intentions. And feel to go bake again, and we'll just go add that high poly again. And just bake it again with the same settings. Please. So I'm just going to take a look and see here what is... Melissa wants me to make everything out of flesh. No, Melissa. Though Leatherface would be proud. Affection. Right. Oh wow, his chainsaw is actually really cool. Nowhere near what I'm making, but it's really cool. So I'm just going to have to make this kind of creepy. I should have looked at that as reference long before now, but it is what it is. So let's go into my materials here and start banging away on some of the stuff that I'm going to want to put in. So I'm going to go in and do some steel. And I'm going to try and get... I think that's too rough. I'm not liking it. Alright. That's not bad. Let me go see what I can do with the roughness. No, the height. Let's see if we can't pull that down a little bit. Okay, I'm digging that. I think I'm gonna make it red. I know the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one is yellow, but I think I want to go something a little bit more red. Now I've got an idea to try and make the plastic look cheap and plasticky. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this brilliant red on. I'm gonna try and set the material here. So I'm gonna go into my height. Let's add some height. And in the height, we're going to add Perlin noise. And the idea is to scale that Perlin noise down till it's just little itty bitty blubbies. And in the height here, we're going to bring this all the way down to 1. I'm going to end up putting this inside a folder, and I'm going to bring the height down even further. But I just want it to look like it's kind of hurriedly painted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put another layer on top of this. This is just going to be color. And what I want to do here is I want to go kind of a desaturated version of that same color. So kind of a almost like sun bleach kind of thing. I'm going to add a black mask and a fill to my black mask. And in the fill, I'm going to go to the textures that were painted. And I'm going to grab the thickness map for this guy. And I'm going to put that in there. And then we're going to add a levels to the fill. And we're going to play around with the levels. The first thing I'm going to do is invert them. And I'm going to bring them in. So the only thing that I'm really looking at is the main body of this thing. Because it's the only thing that's really going to be red. I think I might invert it again. Always saying. Okay, let's pull the lights down a little bit. It's all over for, it's all over for. Now you're dead inside, still you wonder why. It's all over for. I think I'm going to brighten this color up a little bit. Let's go back to the base color so I can see them here. And I think I'm going to try and pull this a little bit more into the orange. Always racing. Let's go flip this guy again. And play with the levels again here. It's all over for. 'Cause now you're dead inside. Still you wonder why. Okay. So I'm not loving that. Let's try using the curvature instead. Okay, let's go in here. Bring this back to where it is. Let's bring this back to where it was. Increase the contrast. And yeah, this is inverted. There we go. So the idea is that I just want to get what looks a little bit like wear on the edges. And now you're dead inside, still you wonder why. It's all over. And now you're dead inside, you wonder why. I think that'll help. 'Cause now you're dead inside, still you wonder why you're on the edge and falling off. I'm going to put another levels on top of this. It's all over for. Yeah, I'm not loving it. It's not quite reading the way that I want it to read. And I mean, there's other things that I could do with this, like add roughness to the worn out bits. But I think like it works better on the handle where it's rounded. But with these edges, I think it's just too sharp that it's not going to work. And so maybe we'll revisit that when I do the handle. The handle's going to be black, and so maybe I'll do something a little bit different there. I'm going to go into, let's see, this guy's roughness. And let's go and put in some grunge. And let's do smudgy. All right, that's not going to work. So let's undo that. I kill this. I need to add a fill so that I can do the roughness as its own thing. And smudgy. That's what I want. And we're going to go levels on that. Oh, what am I supposed to do? I think that the black is too shiny. What are you gonna do? There we go. You go. Okay, let's add a black mask to this. I feel my eyes adjusting. So that guy, and I think that's the only one I want to be red. Let's do the grippies. So the grips, I'm going to make them rubbery kind of black. Let's start with the grainy rubber, or the grainy plastic. Oh, what do you want to do? Okay, I'm going to leave it like that for now. I'm going to come back and play with it in a bit. But I just want to block in the main colors. Come on. I gotta go look at reference again here. I'm gonna take this red and shift it into orange. What do you wanna do? And there. Let's see. I'm going to add another paint here to this guy. This is just going to be color, so it inherits. That's unfortunate. Let's add the metalness too. There we go. I'm going to make this kind of a dark color. And that's going to be the coverings. This guy. This one has to be rubber. And this guy. And in actuality, it should be that thing too. Okay, and then the one at the back too should be black. I had to remove so much detail that I've been planning on doing on this thing that just wasn't going to happen. Okay. So I'm digging that. I'm going to put some labeling on this thing now. You know what I have to do? Let's go read the blueprint and see. Raving Lunatic. What video game would be complete without a chainsaw? This one doesn't seem to be very well maintained. In fact, it looks pretty unsanitary. Maybe you shouldn't touch that. Name on the back reads Junior. Right. I have to put the name Junior on it. So I gotta write Junior back here. I'm gonna try and scribble it like it was written in paint. No. Oh, Melissa. Do you remember a former student that can't model? Christian? You're gonna have to come at me a little bit more specific than that. This is my 9th year of teaching with about 100 students every semester. Dude. There's a smaller list of students that could model than couldn't. God help me right on the time. Okay, so I'm going to do this in orthographic view here. Orthography. Zoom in on the thing. Come on, zoom in. There we go. That's not the font I wanted. Yeah, let's do that one. And bring it smaller. Okay, we are going to be painting in. I need a new paint layer. Yeah, I'll put it there. So, a new paint layer. We're only going to be painting in color. God damn it. No, Rich, you were fine. You can model. I'm going to make this a Texas brand saw. I think I'm going to use all caps here too. I remember the one big person with a lazy eye who couldn't do anything. Oh. Yeah. I knew what you're talking about now. Okay. This is going to be... Where's my material? Dark blue on the blade. Man, I really want that to be more bold than it is. Okay. Let's play around with my scale here a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck this thing up, don't worry. I think I'm just gonna put a capital T here. Doink. I don't like that. No, I don't like that at all. Okay, let's start fucking it up. Let's switch back to perspective. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some rust. We can go to the materials, grab the fine rust, put that up here. This is going to get a black mask. The black mask is going to get a Jenny. The Jenny's going to get the dripping rust. And really, the blade is the only thing I'm really concerned about right now. Because I want it to be really freaking gross. Again, you're going to see that each one of the teeth gets the same little textures on it. It happens. Again, they're all using the same UVs. That's kind of as designed here. Okay, so I've got some rust on this fucker. Where's my black grippy? No. This one is the grippy. This one is the grippy. I'm going to go here and select this. Go back to here. Let's turn that off. Rust. Okay, I'm going to add some dirt. Put this above the rust. I'm going to make the dirt brown and rough. Add a black mask. Add a Jenny. To the Jenny, we'll add the dirt. I'm going to bring the dirt level down. Bring the grunge level up. I'm getting a seam right there. And that seams in everything. So let's go to the rust and switch that to triplanar. Let's go to this guy. And switch that to triplanar. Let's just make sure the dirt is also triplanar. Tonight, my head is swimming. Someone to get me up. I won't think I've had enough. Do 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 do. Going back and looking at Leatherface's chainsaw to again get an idea as to how gungy and dirty they've made it. To higher places. I feel like a vampire. I just can't give it up. There's my base color. Tonight, I break away. Do 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 do. If you can't stand the way this place is, take yourself higher places. Okay, let's put some blood and shit on this. Do 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 do. Let's go up in here. And I know I had bad results with this yesterday. Trying to make it look. Oh no! Look at that. If you can't stand. Where's my paint layer? Where the fuck is that coming from? What the fuck? Higher places. So I don't know what's going on here. This. Kill that. Let's add a black mask again. There we go. That's what it was. I think I'm actually going to make this Leatherface's color scheme. I'm just looking for material here, plastic. Ooh, that might be good. Okay, let's go in here and pick color from Leatherface's actual. Okay, what is the really dark thing coming from? Turn this guy off for a second. Okay, let's black mask. Go to the selection tool, grab this. I think I'm going to go into the rust and take it off the plastic here too. So I'm going to add a paint to this and go to my selection tool here and remove rust from anything plastic, which includes these guys. Those are all metal. That's plastic, that's plastic. Okay. Now, where's my dirt? Are you really not doing anything? Okay, that's a little bit better. Yeah, you know what? The physics particles, I'm not a really big fan of those. I don't find they look very good. They're too identifiable as the physics particles from this software. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a black mask on this, and in the black mask, I'm going to go into the smart masks. There's a couple of like drippy drippy masks in here that might look good. So you can see this is gone and giving it like little sploosh. And if I bring the levels up, we get a lot more of them. They start to appear more on the tops of things than not. I'm not loving that. Again, it doesn't really feel like blood. It's starting to look decent here, but so let's try one of the other ones. I know there's a couple of so that was the one called Wet. I think there's a drip one here too. So there's rust drips. So what I'm going to do with rust drips, this is the dripping rust. This is essentially the same one that I've got on for the rust. But what I'm going to do is drip intensity and the contrast all the way up. And now it's going to autosave. It's not too bad. I'm getting a few individual pixels. Whoa, bloody. Spreading smoothness. Turn to spreading down. See, that I'm starting to like. It's really starting to look like there's blood on the thing. I think what I'm going to do is I'll just remove it from the housing at the back because it's starting to look like paint back there. But I'm starting to dig the way that this is looking. Can I increase this? No way. I like that. I'm starting to get some like long droplets here now. So it's a little overkill on this side. Let's random seed this a couple of times. Not loving it. There we go. Okay. So that's got about the amount of blood that I want on this part. It's just overkill over here. What I want to do is I also want to add some dried blood as well. So not just the fresh stuff, but stuff that's been there for some time. So I'm going to add a paint to this. And I'm just going to use my selection tool here with black. And we're just going to remove the blood from everything else. Oop, not from that guy. Like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this layer. Duplicate layer. And we'll kill the paint back here. And then what I can do with this one is now turn the spreading down till it looks the way that I want it to look back here. And we can even pump the random a little bit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do with this one, let's see. There's my dripping rust. Position axis is green. I want to switch this to X. Good life is what I need. No, I want it to be X. I want it to be negative X, actually. Oh, I'll invert it. All I need. Oh, 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 all I want. Good life. Let's go switch this back to Y. Y. Don't really know who I am. It's time for me to take a stand. I know that any day could be the last. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this blood out. And I'm going to do that by going into the color and darkening it a little bit. Going into the roughness and just increasing the roughness a little bit. The good life. And I'm going to put it under the wet blood. I always wanted it this way. Oh. I want to make sure I got all of these things here. Okay, I'm going to do another layer of muck on this as well. The good life. It's a little of the good life. So I think I'm going to go kind of a really dirty green color. Think of this as maybe a human bile that's been spilled and dried on this thing. I'm going to bring the dryness factor up a little bit here. Maybe what we'll do is in the roughness here, drips. Here we go. Leaky paint. Oh, that's good. That's good. UV projection is going to be triplanar projection. Yeah, that's good. That's real good. That's real good. I like that. So that's giving me kind of wet and dry areas on this thing, which is kind of what I want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a black mask to this. And I'm going to go into my smart masks here. And I want this to be kind of a opacity heavy thing. Yeah, way back in the old days, man. Spec gloss. Actually, Christian, I've been doing this long enough that I predate spec gloss as well. Some of the first characters I ever made were just diffuse map. That was it. You didn't get glossiness. The specularity was way too expensive to render. Okay, so I'm going to put this under the blood. You take the breath right out of me. And I think I need to darken the color a little bit. It's a little too vibrant. Maybe down in here. And then let's go into that mask. This one. Over soon. The open wound, is it over yet? In me and... Okay, I'm gonna call this done just because I don't want to fucking work on it anymore. I think it's good enough. I know that I can find the fire in my eyes, going all the way. Get away here. You take the breath right out of me. No. It's not even that it's too costly anymore. It just doesn't look as good. There's no point in going back to that when you can get, fairly physically accurate looking materials. Oh, I didn't do the name. I gotta write the name on the back. No, it's not any more expensive than PBR. It's just it's not as accurate, right? It doesn't give you the properties you really want. Even PBR isn't completely accurate. There's a micro detail or a micro surface that you would want to get that we don't do that yet either. Which would replace roughness, right? Roughness is actually just a very close-up, it's a definition of the very close-up texture of something, the very close-up detailing of something. If something is really, really bumpy up close, that makes it rough in terms of the how shiny it is. And if it's shiny, then up close it's really, really, really smooth, right? The photons aren't bouncing as much. They're all traveling in the same path. And so, yeah, there's a kind of a thing there that we don't pay attention to just yet. Okay, so I want something that looks like a fucking crayon. That'll work. Go into my materials here. This is going to be written in crayon. I'm going to make it kind of a white crayon. And do this. I'm going to write this with my stylus so that at least I get a monochrome of... do that. We're going to go a little bit smaller. What? Junior. Okay, let's do that. And the dust becomes bright. Damn it. Pop that back open. Kill that for now. Kill that for now. Let's pump this back up. Where was Leatherface? I just wanted his number while I was here. 35. Okay, so totems. This is the Raving Lunatic. All I need. And with dusk in throat I crave. Only knowledge to the save. To the game you stay a safe. No man, vagabond, call me what you will, yeah. Yeah, but I'll read the... Oops, that was the right place. Textures. Saw. I'd like to play a game. Oh, man. Why didn't I do anything from fucking Saw? I'd like to play a game. I feel stupid for not having thought of that until I just said it. I'm stripped to the unknown. Okay, let's pop this open a little bit more. Not alone. Am I Leatherface? Yeah, I don't know why it didn't occur to me to do anything from Saw. No man, vagabond, call me what you will. Okay, so we can get out of here. Go to the totems. There's a chainsaw. Okay, so while I'm in here, we got two things to do. The first is to make this a small prop, so that it LODs the fuck out. Crazy how well that works. Okay, and then the materials. Am I Leatherface? Ah, damn it. I didn't convert that material. Anywhere unknown. Yeah, why didn't I do Chunky? Where the fuck were you guys when I started working on this? Now you come up with ideas. Now. Actually, I could totally add them, right? Small? What is small? Why do I know that? That isn't anything I know. I don't know what you're talking about, Melissa. Turn that off. But I read them anywhere. Okay, 35. You know I can add more totems, right? It doesn't actually just have to be this list. I totally can, and that's the whole... It's the whole point of this system, is that it's modular. In fact, if I go to Photoshop, I show you this. Projects, Cabin in the Woods, Images. I have my cards, right? There's my PowerPoint. If I open this up, I thought it was in Photoshop, but it's not. Whoops. There. There's all my cards. There's all 50 cards. And so I could just actually duplicate one of these, change the number, spit it out as a... I see what you're doing here. You're doubling down on us. I feel used. And so, yeah, no, it would actually be nothing to do that. Maybe if there's time, I'll add that in some way. Saw isn't really a good one, right? Because he's just a dude. There's no creature there. There's no thing there. But the possessed toy, man, possessed toy is fucking awesome. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I could put a porcelain doll in here somewhere, or even just a good guy box. Oh, that's a fucking totem right there. The box from a good guy doll. I love it. I love it. I might swap one of these things out for that. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's go put this guy in here. Okay, first, where's the chainsaw gonna go? Gotta find me another empty spot. Why is that box still sticking out? There we go. So I don't think there's anything here. I don't know how I'd be able to tell. There's no fucking light here. I've got a Trans Am in primer paint. Nobody told me I was born this way. Damn it. They're calling out my name. Gonna be a white trash millionaire. Ain't got much and I don't care. And kiss my ass. Whole damn world's gonna know I've been here. Oh, I already have one candle there. I don't know why I didn't just duplicate that one. White trash millionaire. Or Mercedes Benz. And all the fake friends. Well, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna be a white trash millionaire. Ain't got much and I don't care. I'm gonna put another set of candles on the floor here. Just to help with the lighting a little bit more. Millionaire. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. It's amazing how much light those little things give off. Doo-doo. Actually, I think the first Child's Plays didn't even use CG, right? They were just... wanna be a white trash. They were just all practical. Count your cash, kiss my ass. Oh yeah, that looks great right there. Look at the metal reflecting the candles. White trash, white trash. Gonna be a white trash millionaire. Ain't got much and I don't care. Kiss my ass, whole damn world's gonna know I've been here. And you know I'll share, I'm everyone from nowhere. White trash, millionaire. Doesn't really show up so well here. Well, whatever, I can rotate it. What video game would be complete? What video game would be complete without a chainsaw? This one doesn't seem to be very well maintained. In fact, it looks pretty unsanitary. Maybe you shouldn't touch that. Name on the back reads Junior, which we can't even see. Cool. Okay, let's see how quick I can do another one. It's already midnight, but I've got a smart material already built, so I'm going to try and build one more here as quick as I can. Okay, quick. I was really hoping to avoid doing any kind of religious connotation on any of these things. I know a lot of supernatural stuff is very closely tied to religion, and so it is really hard to separate the two. And I'm alone. Okay, I think I've got something. No, I don't want to load anything. Okay, let's see how well we can do this. So I'm going to put a cylinder here. Let's make this a polymesh. And I'm going to scale it in to about there. And then geometry, we're going to go and append a box. And I'm going to bring the box down here. We're going to scale it out to be wider and taller. And look at its topology, which is ugly. I'm going to scale this in here too, try and make it match the cylinder. Or just close enough. And I'm alive. I'm going to mask out half of this thing and blur the mask. And see if that works. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, this is going to get merged down. And then geometry, we're going to go and Dynamesh this. Reset it. Go in to sculpt a little bit here. I'm going to smooth out the transition. I'm going to smooth out the overall shape. So it rounds a little bit. And I'm alone. We'll just do another pass of that. Do this with my come on. And I'm alone. Go clean this up. And move. Now. So now. Let's use the move brush here a little bit. Try and make this a little bit more corner-like. Okay. I'm going to increase the resolution of the Dynamesh a little bit. Do 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 do. Oh, it's just sad. I'm out of scotch. And I'm alone. Okay, so now there is some artifacting on this from the fact that it's low and that it's high like this. I'm going to go to, before I do anything, I'm going to go to my Geo and Z remesh this. And I'm going to bring it to 5's fine. And I'm alone. Okay, survey says, come on, you can do it. Well, that's fucking ugly. Just going to smooth around the center line here and do it again. Let's turn on half. It's better. Try and enforce this edge a little bit more. Send away for a perfect gift, one not subtle. And do this again. Let's do same. Doing what you're told. Fuck it. Leave it like that. It's still 12. Why are you still so high? 8, 6. Okay. Okay, that'll work. Swallowed by pain as he slowly fell apart. Auto group. Auto group. Swimming through the ashes of another life. There's no real reason to accept the way that things have changed. Of a 45. Okay, so I divided this up until it's 1.5 million or so. And I'm going to go into my standard brush with a drag rectangle and an imported alpha from my pictures ZBrush alphas, and this is generic. Left for you, no one else. Let's try nature. I think this one. Do. Not enough. There we go. And I'm staring down the barrel of a 45, swimming through the ashes of another life. There's no real reason to accept the way that things have changed. Okay, let's bring in pointing their fingers. Medium, uniform, heavy. Yeah, you know what? I can do that with the other. Okay, so bring this down to my lowest and export it. Let's see how quick we can do this. Projects. Cabin in the Woods. FBX. Staring down the barrel of a 40 bomb. This is I don't know what creature I'm doing. The ghoul. And before I overwrite that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go make sure the ghoul is actually the one that I'm doing. The ghoul. It is the ghoul. Staring down the barrel of a 45. Smooth normals. Okay. Let's make sure that that's still. Try that again. Export. Ghoul. Okay. Smooth normals. And then this guy is going to go to the highest. I'm going to export again. Here we'll go to the OBJ. Go to the OBJ. Overwrite the high poly. Will to say. We'll go here. File new. Manu, manu, manu. Get you starting to down. Starting to get an affection. It was lying down on the ground. That's okay. I'll still texture it. No, I'm not going to be able to texture it this way. File reset. I can't rotate it. Not till I bake it. Okay, let's bake. Can't you help me as I'm starting to fall? And I'm starting to get an attraction. All alone. Okay, how's this going? This. Here, this. There's no need for that. There's no need for that. That's pointless. And that's pointless. But I'll bring them up anyway. Heal. Yeah, what are we at? 12 minutes. It's a fucking fast totem, I tell you what. What the? Meow. Okay. Doodly doodloo. Okay, now that I got this here, layers, smart materials. Mossy stone smart material. Lovely. That's one of my own smart materials, and I love the shit out of it. Now, I can't actually see this thing from the front. And so I'm kind of going on what it looks like here in terms of judging the quality of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a paint layer here on the bottom. So the only thing I'm going to paint here is height. Can't you see me as I'm starting to fall? Too many, and I'm starting to get an attraction. No, that wasn't the right one. That one. Go. Good. Doink. Okay. Now I'm going to add an anchor to this. Where's my anchor? Add an anchor point. And then we're going to go into my smart material and just make sure everything paying attention to the anchor. So start with the plastic gloss. mask editor. And we're going to go to the micro height and use the anchor. Make sure that it's using the height. And then I'm going to go to the micro up here and turn the height on. And what I should get is eventually the materials here should start paying attention to that. The dirt, micro height, this guy, height map. Up here, micro height is on. So you see them start kind of kicking in a little bit. Green moss, mask builder legacy, micro height. This guy is using the height. So that already pushed in, which means that micro detail is already on here. Height is on, yeah. This one, micro height, this guy. Okay. Mask editor. Micro height. Where's my micro height? On. And there. It's hard to read, but it's there. Oh, look. You can see it really well from far away. Okay. So I'm going to call that done. Up. Export textures. Projects. Cabin in the Woods. Textures. New folder, Ghoul. Select that. Unreal. Export. And now I can go to 3ds Max. And I can position it and make it the scale that I want it to be. I'm torn to pieces. Okay. I'm going to make this big. And put it here. Reset its X form. Export it. And then this is it. I'm done. Look at that. 20 minutes for one totem. I knew this guy was going to be easy. Mainly because I already had a smart material that I made that I knew was going to look fantastic on this. And so, nope. This one. Yeah, reset that to that. Go down here to the textures and materials. Ancient ones. Forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. So I'm putting the Ghoul in with the ancient ones here. Because parameter, color, they have the same material, more or less. Normal. And while you're outside looking in, describing what you see, remember what you're staring at is me. As I'm looking at you through the glass, don't know how much time has passed. Oh God, it feels like forever. Forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. How much is real? So much to question. And if I damnly come the mannequins, contaminating everything, thought came from the heart, never did right from the start. I'm looking at you through the glass, don't know how much time has passed, all knows that it feels like forever. 39. This one I'm going to put on the stairs. All knows that it feels like forever. And I think I could probably scale it up a little bit. Inside your head. Yeah, I'm going to place it over here. And it's the stars. Lie to you, yeah, yeah. Place it on the stairs here. I think I'm going to make that twice the size that it is. Stars that lie to you, yeah, yeah. I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. Oh God, it feels like forever. Oof, not a lot of light here. Ah, it says, what a small tombstone. Look at me. This is either from the grave of a tiny person or part of some elaborate model set. There is a name on the stone, but it's too hard to make out. Look at that, even the lighting. It's perfect. Sitting all alone inside your head. Okay. Done for the night. 2 totems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Been a blast, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'm gonna go and hit this again tomorrow night, and so come on by at 8 o'clock, and we'll continue where we left off. Take care.